What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to take a deeper look at that Hogsmeade trailer, The Quest, as well as the PlayStation blog. The PlayStation blog that they put out with it revealed a couple different things that I think are actually pretty interesting. So I want to kind of go over the more finer details of this, starting with some of the things in the actual trailer. I know other people had pointed this out, but the winter element, right? Obviously, this is, I don't know if you'll have to do this specifically in the winter, right? That has actually been a question of mine, where are quests limited to the season, or are they limited to day or night? I do think quests will be limited to day or night, and by that I mean at night, some of the day quests will be locked off. You can't do them, and then vice versa. For seasonal quests, there may be some. I don't think this one necessarily would, but you see decorations. You see basically Christmas decorations. So it is pretty cool to think that, when they're going for it with these seasons, they're really going to embrace it. And if there's, holidays kind of associated with that season, they would embrace that one as well. I know I saw people talking about the quest itself, the actual quest itself. Now, there's nowhere that says the length or, They do talk about what you're going to get. So it's an exclusive quest that includes an additional dungeon, the shopkeeper's cosmetic set, which is the suits, which do look pretty cool overall, and an in-game Hogsmeade shop. All right, so the Hogsmeade shop is pretty interesting because they talk about what that actually means. So once you do this quest, once you finish it, you will own the shop. But I think people are kind of taking that a little too far. You own the shop where you can sell items and gear at better rates than anywhere else. So there is that question now, right? Because you own this shop, well, number one, people have been saying, well, that's pretty, scummy of them to do it for PlayStation, because it's a PlayStation exclusive, right? You cannot get on Xbox. It is a one-year exclusive. The Quest is a one-year exclusive. I assume a lot of the other, or everything, I guess, comes with it. I wonder if the Felix potion recipe will also be 1 year, but they didn't necessarily say that, but I would imagine. But, you have people kind of upset about that. But again, the thing is, where you can sell items and gear at better rates. This is pretty common, and I wonder why they went down the angle of you own the actual shop, right? I guess it's because of the quest itself, like she's trying to like pull one over you. I don't know, but there are many games where if you do a specific quest, or maybe you do a challenge, or maybe you talk to them and you're nice to the shopkeepers, whatever, there'll be some sort of stipulation. Once you do that, you'll basically get better rates at that shop, right? So I don't know why they went down the path necessarily of owning it, but the idea is just you walk in and it's not like you have, some people are saying like maybe you have like passive income, like maybe you make money per hour or something. Is that possible? Yes, I would think it's more likely that they do that with other things, right? Things that are not exclusive just to PlayStation. I could imagine this simply being, you do the quest, it is definitely exclusive content. You do the quest, and the unlock is that you can sell things there for a better rate than anywhere else, and that is a pretty cool, exclusive. But the idea of owning things and the idea of that passive income definitely makes sense. We know this game has some sort of internal clock in terms of when you go to the room of requirement, right? In the state of play, there is kind of those signs that, okay, well, you can do things and it's going to take some time. It's going to take however many hours for the thing to be done. Maybe you're brewing a potion or, whatever. That's going to take some time. And we know there's actual currency in the game. So, and we also know that sometimes like making the potions and stuff doesn't have to do with that, right? That's like a separate currency altogether. So it'll be interesting to see if we can kind of get passive income where we make a certain amount of money every day if you own things or whatever. But again, like maybe you can get it through other means, like you're looting somebody. And then the Felix, the potion, remember, this is just the recipe, and they do make that very clear. They say this is just the recipe, though. You'll still need to make the most of your potions lessons and the room of requirement potion stations to brew this bottle of liquid luck. And what it gives you is that it reveals gear chests on the mini-map for one in-game day, giving you a pretty lucky day on your journey as you explore Hogwarts, etc. So That is cool. In fact, I think people had theorized that. I think a lot of us, including myself, talked about maybe like increased like your strength, like maybe your spells are a little bit more increased. This one's fine. So for one day until you go to bed that night or the day ends, you'll be able to see gear chests on the minimap. I like that, and it's not. That's not too wild, right? It's not. Now, of course, and we talked about this before, I'm not, like, I guess on Sony's side. Like, I'm not trying to, like, super defend them and say, oh, please don't get mad at them. Like, it's like, you know what? If you want to be mad, if that's exclusive or the practice of making these things exclusive to one or the other, that's totally fine. I have honestly nothing against that. I'm just kind of not going down that rabbit hole, at least right now. But it's not that big of a thing, I think. And then the idea of them throwing in that it's just the recipe, which we did know, right? We kind of assumed it's just a recipe. You'll have to make it. Then when they say your potions lessons and the room of requirement, in my opinion, that almost confirms the theory that a lot of us have had before, right? Where you go to potions and you have to go maybe to that class a certain amount of times. And then by doing that, now we always said kind of like maybe you would level up or you would learn a new potion. Actually, that is probably true, right? I wonder now if it's a thing that you go to the potions class and maybe you pick a potion that you want to learn and you have to go back to that class, say, 3 times in order to unlock that potion. And in-game, it's basically like you're learning how to make it. But in terms of us playing, it's like we'll just go to the class 3 times and you'll be good. And then when you can make it, you'll receive the recipe for it, right? When you go to potions and say, I want to learn this potion, this specific potion, and you can maybe pick from a list. All right, you want to learn that, you got to come back 3 times, whatever. Then when you do it, you get the recipe for it. Then you go to the room of requirement, and you need this thing, that thing to make the potion, and you need to wait a certain amount of time for it to, make itself, right? You do that, you leave, you come back, and you have it. Honestly, that's what we had kind of assumed was going to happen. Now it seems that's exactly what's going to happen because they kind of described that with the liquid luck. So pretty, I like that in the sense that we get to know a little bit more about it now. And one final thing I want to talk about is when you look at the name of the shopkeeper, Cassandra Mason. I don't know this for sure. I'd have to go back in my own database, like in the very early covering this game. I believe when this game was announced on IMDb, there would be sometimes names of, actors and actresses that would pop up and which characters they were playing. And some of them have been swapped in and out. Some of them I think have stayed. I want to say Cassandra Mason, which is the name of the shopkeeper. That name sounds very familiar. Now, Cassandra is a very, I think I saw people say, very, wizardy name, right, just in general. Mason, maybe it's something that I'm fooling myself into thinking that I saw. And this is just an interesting tidbit. Maybe this isn't necessarily anything groundbreaking, but that name really sounds familiar, and I want to say that is one of the first people that we did see on IMDb. So it's just kind of funny that, one of the first people we see is just a shopkeeper for an optional side quest that may only, this character may only exist basically in the PlayStation version. Now, again, we don't know. Can you literally go to this shop in the Xbox or PC version? Is that possible? Can you still talk to her and sell things to her? Maybe you just can't do the quest. Or maybe you can't do any of what I just said, right? Maybe the shop literally doesn't exist. So we'll have to see, obviously, when the game comes out. But that was just an interesting tidbit. So overall, obviously, very cool trailer. As we said yesterday, love it. Love the vibes of the Haunted Mansion thing. Looks really good. Looks beautiful. Also kind of going in a different vibe with showing Ravenclaw, right? As well as just a different model, a new created student that we hadn't seen before. So that's pretty cool, too, that they're kind of experimenting with who they're showing. And by the way, in this PlayStation blog, they mention all 3 of the friends that we saw in the state of play, right? Sebastian, etc. But they still are not telling us that 4th friend. So maybe that character is insanely important. Maybe they're like a familiar last name, right? Maybe they have like a legacy or like a bloodline that we know. But it's kind of odd that they've given us 3 and they're so, willing to talk about those 3, but they just will not say that 4th one. Pretty cool, or pretty, I guess different. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.